comes to our health, sometimes the simplest thing is the best thing. Dr. Marium Murad has been recognized by CUTV News as an empowered entrepreneurial woman for her Movement is Blessed program, which she has developed as a specific exercise technique to improve circulation in patients. Movement is blessed is actually a very old and very ancient saying, according to Dr. Murad. The simplest thing is always the best thing. You start with the toes and you work your way up. The technique, originally developed for Dr. Murad's bedridden mother, who recovered from both back and heart-related illnesses, is a very simple method of exercise based on small movements. Now, these small movements actually help activate the body's lymphatic system to encourage the flow of fluid throughout the body and eliminate metabolic waste, germs, and toxins. Dr. Murad's program is primarily for seniors, especially those who are less active or mobile. Dr. Murad believes poor circulation increases the risk for health-related issues. And according to the doctor, we need to get back to a more holistic understanding of the body. Now, as a student of medicine, Dr. Murad has been able to reconnect some of these ideas with other physicians who are looking to become more and more specialized. She says she's always been interested in more natural approaches to medicine. Now, something like arthritis can actually affect you in such a way that it takes time for your joints to align before you can take your steps. This technique actually allowed her mother to be functional and ambulatory. Movement is Blessed is a simple self-education program for all ages and all health conditions. Her toe-size exercises can be done when one is awake, asleep, home, hospitalized, or even in hospice. She has traveled globally to attend conferences, seminars, and she's been invited to speak at numerous occasions as well. The program has been recently translated into Braille, Braille Reader, Spanish, Vietnamese, and will be soon translated into more languages. Dr. Murad has over 25 years of professional experience in the medical field and alternative healing practices. As a results-driven person, Dr. Murad has demonstrated success not only in the healthcare field, but also as a delegate and advocate for helping people's health and wellness within the entire body. And she joins me today for an exclusive interview right here on CUTV News. Dr. Murad, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you.
Welcome. This is fascinating, and this is very revealing, too, because a lot of times we don't think of our feet, we don't think of our toes, we think of other areas of our bodies to treat and to check in on and to make sure are healthy. But really, it should start from the bottom up, from the toes, right? How did you first get interested in the feet, the toes, and the overall health and wellness of our feet?
Jim, first of all, thanks to CUTV News for having me here, and thank you for having me. You know, all your introductions and all your tips, and warm welcome over here.
It's our pleasure.
And I tell you, the feet, I made this for my mother, and this is Movement is Blessed is the natural movements of all the body put together. And the foot is the first chapter. The toes is my first chapter. And from toe exercises, it went to toesercise, and now to a foot wellness program. And this is for the aging population, because, you know, every day we have 10,000 people in this country that are turning 65. I mean, that's an amazing fact. 10,000 people are adding to the senior population, those baby boomers, golden ages, whatever you put it, but there's 10,000 is a large number.
That's 10,000 a day?
10,000 a day.
10,000 people a day are turning 65.
65,
so
yes.
With that comes medical issues and illnesses and various things. So tell us about, first, before we get into the program, because it's really fascinating, the research I've been doing in preparation for today's interview, it's really amazing, and it is revolutionary, the work that you're doing. A little bit about your background working as a doctor in the medical field. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you first got interested in healthcare and overall health and wellness for others.
it started way, way back. Like I was telling you this morning, and you said, go back, further back. And it went way back to school. It was in 3rd grade. And our science teacher, it was Mr. Harvey, and he incubated 21 eggs, and it was a science project. And he used to come in and open the eggs and show us the developing embryo, and at the end when they hatched we had a raffle for who would get those little chicks, and so it was like very fascinating to me, and I thought, wow, this is really interesting. You know what, I'm going to be a doctor. So my medical interest started in 3rd grade, and when I start something, I stick to it, and I go all the way. Doesn't matter the number of steps and the hard work. So I'm very dedicated to what I do. So I'm a doctor, and that was when I was going to be it. And here I am, a doctor. And then it was this Movement is Blessed program. It was for my mother. And this was years and years ago. Originally started out when I was doing medicine, you buy these medical books and Gray's Anatomy, and I was educated in the British system. So Gray's Anatomy was our anatomy book, and it's quite a heavy book. Mm-hmm. And you look it up, and my mom has arthritis, and my mother has an ulcer because the previous medicine wasn't buffer coated. So if you took joint medication, you ended up with an ulcer. Mm-hmm. And that's very painful, and she lived with it. And I was like, Mom, why do you take this medicine if it gives you pain and agony? And she says, I can't walk without it, so I need to take it. And so I made a chart of all the muscles acting on the knee. And I made a chart for my mom, and she would do these exercises by herself before she would get up and from bed or from a chair. And she was able to walk on her own. And that was kind of important to me because I could see my mother doing these exercises, and she would be mobile. And now, when I look back, when you're young, you don't really value health. It's sort of when you age a little bit, you grow up, you have a little bit of self-experience, and you tend to look everything a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. When I was young, in my 20s, and life has a different perspective. Mm-hmm. And
you're immortal. You're gonna live forever. Yeah. I'll deal with health later. Right? Let me just have fun now, right?
That's right.
But you pay the price later if you don't. Follow a certain system.
And now I look at it at completely different. And this program, Foot Wellness, I have made for the seniors, the aging population. And I'm very passionate to educate them because I don't sell anything, There's no gadgets, no supplements, no equipment, no lotion, potion, nothing.
Which is rare because a lot of people are always selling something. There's always something to buy. They're willing to give the advice only if you buy something. So the way that you're doing it, it's truly from the heart. You really passionately, deep inside you, want to help people. You want to actually offer the greater population as much of yourself and of your knowledge and expertise as you can for overall health and wellness, because you've experienced it within your own family, the loss of your father of a sudden heart attack, your mother with her illnesses. You've experienced it around you, and with your expertise as a doctor, you've wanted to, what I think is really cool about all of this, if I can say this, is you're breaking away from the mold, the traditional mold of doing things, and you're setting a trend and a pace that is very connecting and very personal, very one-on-one with people. And I think not only is that more relatable and user-friendly, but I also think it reaches a deeper level. You're doing this for a deeper reason than just the physical sensations and repair and health and wellness replenishment. It's a deeper level because mind, body, and spirit is all connected, right?
That's true. You see, people don't look at it. We are a very physical society, and we are very driven by the media, and what the media tells us is our education. And I'm on to the senior population. A lot of seniors, they have been through life and they look at it black and white. There's no color, and the media is not that appealing. You cannot sell them a lot of things, and they they don't trust. You know, the trust issue is there, and the salesmanship and all these words. You know, I'm not there. I like to educate, and when I go, believe me, I'm with a lot of causes that are less active. You know, really a number of them. And a lot of people are not so able, like my mother was. And when you teach them something, they will do it. Jim, every single person I have taught my toes-er-size exercise to this day, they continue to do it every single day by themselves. And I have such a devoted following. They not only do it every day, they do it 3 times a day with their medicine. They do it 5 times a day. Some do it 7 times a day. I mean, incredible. The simplest things, foot, just the feet, we don't realize. And now I have sort of, my program is very simple. And I have even simplified it even further, because in our country, our ethnicity, we have lots of people that are from different countries. They speak different languages, and I care for their parents and their grandparents that live with the families, because I'm trying to reach out to the family caregivers. You know, I was a family caregiver myself, and you're concerned about your parents, and they're at home alone, and what do you want to do? You want them to be well. Well, the first thing is you need to have strong feet, and you give them that solid foundation, and they're able to move. They're able to go to the kitchen. They can make themselves a warm sandwich, you know, something warm. You want something cold from the kitchen, a cold glass of water. You're able to go and do that. And you're able to walk to the bathroom. You're able to wash your hands, wash your face, take a bath.
All the basic things that we need to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And we don't look at our feet as being important. And a lot of people, most of us, we don't think about our feet.
No,
we
definitely sort of neglect them. Sometimes people try to squeeze them into shoes that really don't fit because the shoes look good, or there's different, a high arch or flat foot, or there's different things that we do to neglect the feet. We're worried about the face, but not always the feet. So you've had this passion when it comes to foot wellness and health, but there's also some very important things about the feet, not just as the stabilizing force, the foundation of our bodies to hold all the weight and keep us balanced and structured, but also there are certain trigger points on the feet, almost like acupressure points that are on the feet, that when they are massaged or when these exercises are done, they trigger other very beneficial things that happen throughout our entire body system, right? Tell us about that.
Yes, you're correct, Ed. You're very knowledgeable, and you've traveled yourself and interviewed a lot of people, and you're telling me a lot of alternative therapies that you're familiar with. And myself also, I've traveled the world, and I've learned a lot. You name it A to Z, I have done it all. And most of them you can't even pronounce the names, and I've done it. And people used to ask me, why do you study so much? Why do you take all these courses? And what will you do? And I said, well, it interests me. I'm a student of science. I like to learn. I have curiosities. And do you know what, Jim? East and West, they blend together. And there is no conflict, whether you look at old school or new school or East or West or ancient and new, they go together in harmony. So the wellness principles are sort of interlinked. Whichever language you talk, it's like humans, whichever language, we communicate the same thoughts. And so there's lots of ancient sciences which are still up and about in today's world, like there's foot reflexology, massage, all these acupressure points, acupuncture. She had so many of them. And with them, it requires a practice. You need a specialist, somebody that has been trained, that has the knowledge. And then you actually have to physically go to their clinics, their salons, wherever they may be located, and pay them. And the difference over with my program is that this is a little bit broader, it's a little bit wider, the benefits are more, and you don't have to pay anyone. There are no monthly fees. There is no expert. You are the expert. It's your body. You are the best physician of your body. And so it teaches you how to do these steps.
Which is the important thing,
yes.
Because obviously you can't be in the room with them 24/7. So one of the greatest things to do is to empower other people to be able to take the techniques that you have through years of study and research developed, and you can show them how to do it when you're not there, when they're in their home, or like you say, when they could be in the hospital, hospice, they could be at work, at their desk, on their computers all day, just sitting, which isn't always the best. A lot of us are now in these environments where, you know, we're dependent on computers and technology, so we're doing cell phones and we're bending and we're not necessarily circulating the blood flow, and we're not necessarily moving all of the parts of the body maybe that we used to move because we're seated at desks on computers. So all of this that you're offering is tremendous, because again, it's all about getting the circulation, and if you can start from the feet up, it's essential. Some of the acupuncture pressure points on the feet, let's talk a little bit about what those points are and areas of the body that when the feet are really cared for, it can aid as a result.
Yes, of course. You see, acupressure and puncture points and foot massage and pedicure, everybody loves them. And even my lawyer, she would tell me, oh, you know, when I get my pedicure done, I love that massage. So people tell you more about that massage that they do, not about the nail polish or the care of the nails. They like that massage, you know.
Sure.
And I said, well, you go like, how often do you go? They say, oh, about 6 weeks once. And I said, how about if you could do that every day? And they said, yeah. And I said, it didn't cost anything. And so, you know, I teach them, and massage actually stimulates the nerves. So it feels good because, you know, the nerves are cared for, and definitely feels good.
And doesn't it also release the endorphins, which are those feel-good hormones too, that then circulate through your body as you're getting the circulation going, whether it's foot massage, back massage, hand, neck? Those endorphins start to release and you feel phenomenal, right?
Yes, that's true. And exercise is documented. So whichever condition you want to look in, whether it is an ailment or is just a condition or it's some natural therapy, you would see that exercise, the benefits are tremendous. Lots of research done. So it's proven beyond any need to, you know, explore it any further. And if you look at it, ever since we stepped on Earth, man has the same physical system. You know, we stand on our 2 feet. It's the same system, it's the same skeletal system. It's the same. Our muscles are the same. All of our body systems are the same. And the footwear has changed, so the fashion has changed. And when you look at somebody, you will say, oh, there's a nice shoes. You never talk about their feet. And the surprising thing is when you ask people how their feet, about their foot, and they use such conditions, words like ugly, painful, not pretty adjectives when you describe your feet.
And the first thing they say when they get home is, I took my shoes off and oh, it feels terrific, because being in the shoes and just being cramped up like that, you know, especially women who wear high heels, the first thing that they do is rip them right off, and they're like, oh, my feet can breathe now, it feels terrific. Because sometimes, you know, squeezing ourselves into tight shoes isn't the natural thing that our feet and our body really wants,
yes.
But we do it because it looks nice.
That's true. I met this executive, and she adores high heels. You know, she's got all the name brands, and she wears nothing but high heels. And she was telling me, do you know what? I wear flats till I have to get out of the car. Then I take my pain medicine. Then I put those shoes on. I go attend the 2-hour function. I come back. The first thing I do in the car is take them off, take another painkiller.
Because you're in pain. And you shouldn't be in pain. If you're experiencing pain with your feet, your ankles, your toes, that's a warning sign, right?
Well, Jim, look good comes on the list before this,
that's
how you feel.
The way society is
look
now.
good, you got to look good at all costs. And I work with seniors, and I'll tell you, our seniors, they get their hair done, and that is number one. Those curls have got to stay up, you know. And they don't like the sweat and exercise and anything that brings those curls down before the end of the week. You know, till their next hairstylist appointment, they're not really in for it. So exercise is not really something of interest. It's not appealing. No one likes to sweat for an hour. It's too difficult. To the gym, and of course, it's very nice, healthy, and everything, but it's for the young people and those that really want to do it.
Some people are intimidated by the atmosphere, going to a public place, and you know, it's just an intimidation factor for some of them, so they like to do things privately, which I think is another reason why this program that you've developed under the auspices and the umbrella of Movement is Blessed is very important, because again, these techniques you can do at home. So we're talking about Movement is Blessed or Blessed. That is the umbrella, that is the parent. And there's a lot of different things underneath the umbrella of Movement is Blessed. One of them is exercise, which I know is a big emphasis of this video television interview we're doing right now. Tell us about the development of this technique of exercise that you've created, how it works, and some of the benefits. It's
the tip of the iceberg in wellness and good health. And if anybody out there, if somebody wants to improve their health and wellness, and you don't have to be really unwell. It's preventive, or you're on either way. Any age, it really doesn't matter if you're physically fit, what age you are, where you live, if you have any money or not, if you have any health insurance or not. Foot wellness is so essential that I go to great lengths to teach people, and I have a personal commitment that if there's one person that would like to learn, I will go and teach them, because I have been through it with my own mother, and I know how it feels to have a parent who is unable to take care of themselves or has a health condition. And if you just get them on their feet, there's a lot that they can do. And there's lots to talk about, but for this interview, we keep it very short and simple. And foot wellness is the basics of good health, you know, and it empowers you. See, no one likes dependency, because by the time we reach our retirement age, we have been through our youth, and gosh, it's so empowering. We've had a job, we've driven our car, and now you want to take the keys away from mom and dad, and they don't like that. You know, they want their independence. They want to be able to do something. So this is the first step in wellness. It teaches them how to fish. You know, like the old quote goes, if you teach somebody how to fish, you feed them for a lifetime. If you give them a fish, you feed them for a meal. Mm-hmm. So this is giving you educational empowerment of general well-being for a lifetime. It teaches you not only the physical exercises. It's physical, it's physiological, it's psychological. I know lots of couples where the husband will do foot massage for the wife, and she's like, oh goodness, you know, I just love it, and he's the best husband. And the reason is because he gives her these foot massages, and that puts her to sleep.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's so relaxing. So our audience understands, is toe exercise pretty much self-foot massaging, or are they certain yoga movements? Are they stretching? Are they curling the toes, wiggling the toes, moving the feet? Maybe even, I mean, here's an actual skeletal replica of a foot. So are they moving certain things? Is it all about movement, or is it the massage, or is it a combination of all of the above?
It's an exercise that feels like a massage. These are the natural movements of the body, you know, natural movements. So you're moving the joints. When the joints move, the muscles are exercised. So the skeleton is being strengthened by the movements of its own muscles. So you're strengthening each joint individually. And people don't realize that each of these toe joints are similar to the knee joint. They're just smaller in size.
You want to show us anything particular about that?
Yes. Yeah. And you know, the foot is a very powerful, it's a very beautiful piece of work of nature. And do you know, Jim, of all the bones in the body, a quarter of the body's bones are in the feet. And this is what gives it its flexibility. So this is not only exercise, it's a whole wellness program. It teaches you how to stand properly, it teaches you good posture, it teaches you balance, it teaches you a lot of wellness that you need to know. Basics, you know, just general basics, simple words, simple which you can grasp. And in my teachings, I teach you simple concepts, and at every workshop, every class that they attend, it's a takeaway. So you actually take something away that you can learn.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a takeaway.
So it's a takeaway.
Yes.
And my great-grandmother on my mother's side from Sweden, who I was telling you about off camera, used to teach the kids posture by having them balance a book on their head. This is a little bit more of an advanced system. The toes are sized than that. But some of the properties and some of the overall goals are really the same, right?
Yes. Yes, I talk to seniors, and we cannot see, our eyes are focused outwards, so we look outside, and I tell them, you look at your house, the house stands on a foundation, and they say, yeah, and I say, well, you know, when you look at the house from the outside, you look at the landscape, so you talk about the flowers, the rose garden, the driveway, how green the grass is. Outside is appealing, you know, it's nature, it's green, and when you go inside your friend's house, you look at the carpet, you look at the sofas, you look at the furniture, the wall hangings, the flower arrangements, you look at the inside, you look at the decor, and the foundation never comes to your mind. So the foot is somewhere in there. When we look at somebody, we look at their shoes. We don't look at the feet. And when we describe our health or what we need, the foot never comes to the mind. So, so this is, my aim is to reach out and teach you a basics of wellness that you can do yourself. It's empowering that, yes, I can do something myself. So it's basic education. So this is an educational program which I want to extend out. And I work with a lot of less active people. So if you're less active, that means you spend less time on your feet. Mm-hmm. Your feet tend to lose the strength. And the more you sit, the more you expand.
Right, right.
And the more you expand, the less, you know, there's
other
more
health
weight.
problems come in.
More
and
weight on the feet.
Right. That's another thing that we don't think about is as you do expand, because obesity is a big issue around the world, but especially in the United States, obesity, even for young kids too, is rampant. So you have all of this extra weight on you, and that alone has its health-related issues, but now it's also putting a lot of extra pressure on your knees, the rest of your legs, your ankles, and of course the feet, which are trying to support all of that. So that alone can add to even more situations and problems with your feet and the ankles, right?
Yes. Like Jim, I was telling you earlier, when we're prepping for this, that right here I'm talking about aging population, the seniors, but exercise is good for everyone, you know, every human being. And I started with seniors, and my oldest goes over 100.
Wow.
Yeah, and now I've come down. So when I teach seniors, people ask me, can we bring, you know, people in their 30s? You know, they really can't move a lot, and they have less active. They have less mobile, you know, they have different health conditions. People are on computers,
cell phones, they're on technology, so they're not moving as much as they used to.
That's right, and I say sure, and now it has gone down to pregnant women. Yeah. Because in pregnancy, especially the last months, we are less active, less mobile, and this is something which they need. You know, it feels good. Somebody does your foot exercise. It's a family wellness program, and newborn babies, you know, there's a whole science. So everybody needs exercise, from pregnant ladies all the way to 100 years. And you talk about childhood obesity. So I have actually come up with 12 weeks, because a semester is 12 weeks long. And the toes are just the first chapter of my whole body program. And for children that are obese, I have actually developed a program to teach them complete natural body movements, and it empowers them without requiring them to do these jumping and pounding exercise, which definitely gets the weight off, but it thins down their knee cartilages. Mm-hmm. And we're an arthritic family, so I'm very conscious of taking care of my knees. I would definitely like to lose the weight, but I wouldn't like to pound my knee cartilages.
Right, exactly.
And this is why you see slim people with knee problems. They're like, you know, you're not even overweight, so you have this knee problem. Oh, we used to be over 200 pounds. And
well, there's times too also sports injuries too, because especially people who play certain kinds of sports, I mean any kind of sport, but those who are like tennis players and others, not only are there shoulder and elbow issues, but the knees, the legs, the feet. If they've been an athlete maybe a good deal of their life, later on some of the, you know, the injuries and the pain they've experienced can return in the feet, the ankles, the legs, all the way up, because it's something that hasn't necessarily fully recovered. And so this could be great for even athletes, those that play sports as well, right? Those who are active, it's good for
yes, this is
keeping
exercise.
healthy.
You know, the value of daily exercise is just phenomenal. You know, we can spend a whole program talking about daily exercise.
Yeah.
So this exercise, if you don't do anything, this is one exercise for everybody, all ages, all health conditions. So for any reason that day you don't exercise, there's one exercise, it's exercise. Very simple, it's your body's with you, use your natural gym, use what you have where you have it. You don't require anything external. If you cannot, then use what you have. You know, the days the athletes is out, you know, that's terrific. But the days you cannot, you got to exercise every day. So the main point here is not that you need the gym or you need to go to the park or you need something external. You need to understand the concept of daily exercise. If you can go to the gym, that's good. If you go to the park, that's good. If you go for a jog, that's good. Go for a swim, that's good. You want to play with the kids, you bicycle, everything is good. But you need to do it something every day. So if nothing, exercise.
So exercise. So how long is an actual session if you do it yourself? How much time does somebody need to devote each day to doing it? How much time does it actually take from the beginning to end in a session?
I tell you, it takes less than 5 minutes, really.
Is that it?
Yeah. And some people are quick at it. It doesn't take long at all. And the thing is, you don't have to do it all together. Your body's with you. So whenever you get 5 minutes or a minute here and there, you start and you can continue, because it's not like you're at the gym and there are people waiting in line for you. So you need that hour, and it doesn't have to be an hour long. No equipment necessary, no time restrictions, absolutely no requirements. It's whenever you get the time. So I plan to put the seed in your mind that daily exercise. So here's one exercise. Whenever you get the time, just do it.
Less than 5 minutes out of your busy day.
Spend a minute here,
you
a minute
could be
there.
doing it on a train. You could be doing it on a plane. You could be doing it at the park on a bench. You could do it at the computer. You can do it while watching television. These various techniques, these various moves and methodologies, which I think is terrific. You make it easy for all ages. Again, focusing on seniors because they're less active, less mobile. They don't necessarily have the opportunities to be running around and jumping and doing all the things that maybe a kid can do. So with the focus on seniors, but again, something that's relevant, topical, and beneficial to all ages. You have this incredible book, which is actually the Movement is Blessed program. This is a companion book. You have this instructional exercise DVD as well. These are, of course, are available on your website, movementisblessed.com. Let's start with the book. The book, and I've been thumbing through it, this book is fantastic. I mean, you have not only lots of descriptive, but you have all kinds of fantastic beautiful photos in here that really demonstrate and illustrate beautifully all the different exercises, all the different techniques. So the exercise is one element of a larger health and wellness program that you've developed for Movements is Blessed, right?
Yes.
And this is really it here. It's all in here. I mean, the basics are here.
Because lots of seniors, because it's for the aging population, especially the ladies, they prefer books.
Yeah.
You want your own copy, and I have taught a lot of grandmothers, family, caregivers, and the children generally like to watch their television programs, and if grandma puts something on, they're like, Grandma, watch this, we want this. So they tend to like books. You know, they say, let the children have their way. And they like to do books which they can open up, and it doesn't require any electronics, because lots of senior ladies, they're not really comfortable with electronics.
What's great about this too, right, exactly, the way this book, it's almost like a workbook. I just like the way that it's laid out. And big font for everybody, which is fantastic, makes it easy. Easy to understand words, great illustrations, and it's written in layman's terms, like this particular section. I know we're specializing in toe exercise and the feet today.
Yeah, the toe is the first chapter. If you go to the first chapter, you get the toes.
You've got all of that, and then you've got so many other things in here. Senior neck stretch, lumbar spine for the lower back. I mean, this book is really rich and ripe with so many different things. Examples of things, again, that you can do on your own yourself without having to have somebody there instructing you.
No equipment, nothing needed.
Nothing. Ankle to toes coordination.
Natural movements.
Things that we really don't think about. The toe joints. I mean, this is fantastic. And like you say, the very first beginning portion of this book focuses on the toes. But you've got, like, I'm looking at this book, and there's 31 different sections.
Yes.
I mean, the lower limb, the spine and head, the upper limb, it goes on and on and on. But again, it all starts from the bottom up,
the toes.
with the toes, the right foot, the left foot, the different movements, the different things you can do. So this is great to have this program. The DVD, now how is the DVD, doctor, different? Is the DVD consisting of the actual visualization of the movements, you showing people how to implement these things in their daily life?
Yes. Yes, I was happy with the book, and I was teaching, and my senior class wanted a DVD, and I said, all right, so I made it for them. And do you know, it's with a senior woman, and I wanted a senior woman because you don't want to put a teenager there for teaching seniors. They want to see a senior.
Right.
And this lady has beautiful feet. Her foot is just so aesthetic. And so she wasn't able to do these exercises, and we worked for a couple of months together, and she was very determined, and she was very interested and fascinated. And she used to live in a senior residential community, and she used to tell me, we used to meet every day, and she used to tell me, my neighbors asked me, where do you go every day? And she was teaching them. And amazing. And she took really good care of herself, and she used to wear a toe ring in her second left toe. And so for these exercises, I told her, we remove your jewelry. And she couldn't get that toe ring off. And she put it on 15 years ago.
Wow.
Could you imagine? And she has...
That's amazing when you think about it, really.
And she had worn that ring for the last 15 years, and it couldn't go off. And, well, getting into the specifics, so her second toe had curled under the big toe because of the constriction. The blood flow wasn't getting to the toenail, even though she went for a pedicure every 6 weeks. And she said, the lady never told me this stuff. And I said, well, I'm looking at your foot with the camera right there and making a video. And she is from a severely diabetic family. So lots of health benefits. She could feel herself, and she was telling everybody this, and she was gifting everybody this DVD. So now we're coming up to a holiday time, and there's always somebody's birthday, a get-well present, a festive occasion coming up. And I want everybody to make this as their gift for the seniors, for grandparents, for parents. This is what you give. It's a gift of self-education.
I say they get two, one for the grandparents and the seniors in their life, and one for themselves. So by the time they reach seniordom, they're healthy, and they're already prepared for the health situations that may occur. Sometimes it's genetics, sometimes things just happen in life. But if they can start early too, and knowing some of these invaluable techniques that you have developed, when they get to be a senior, they'll already have some things implemented. They'll already have some ideas of movements and techniques that when they are a senior, and if they become immobile or other things keep them from not necessarily being as active, they're able to go back to Dr. Marium Murad's techniques and Movement to Bless the program and access it. So I think even though that this is really focusing on the seniors because they are less active, they tend to be a little bit more immobile due to various scenarios, but it's also good for those who are younger, so they will have a better quality of life when they become a senior, right?
This is actually what another one of my long-term goals is, to teach the younger generation foot wellness. Be kind to your feet. We are not kind to our feet. If you go out into the general public, people don't place their foot properly. They stand. So this is
crossing legs, crossing feet. We were talking about that off air. Not so good. It seems comfortable to cross your leg. It seems casual, but all of that It's detrimental.
Everything has a consequence. So for the younger generation, I want to teach them, be kind to your feet. You have to know foot wellness, because if you look at how the body is structured, we actually stand on nothing else but our feet. We're like a skyscraper, and all of our foot takes the body weight. And when we walk, if you look at it, Jim, we lift up one leg and the whole body weight is only on one foot, and then we put it down and lift the other foot. So the whole body weight is on one foot. And when you run, it compounds, and when you jump, even more so. So the foot has to be very, very strong. And if there's nothing else physically strong in your body, your feet have to be very strong to carry you through life. I mean, they actually carry you through life.
Yeah.
And when you get to the golden years, the condition of your foot is very essential to your health.
And that's why you see a lot of times with seniors specifically, as people age, you see them having a lot of trouble walking. There's a cane, there's a walker. They say the legs give out, the feet give out underneath them. So these incredible techniques that you've developed for Tosercise under the auspices of Movement is Blessed are wonderful ways to sort of reinforce the strength of those areas as well, and deal with various things that you may have, like arthritis, and maybe you do have a diabetic situation, to try to strengthen the feet and make the feet as healthy as possible, since they are supporting the rest of the body. And again, there are those trigger points, those acupuncture trigger points that are there that can really help the body in so many different ways. Because you can, I guess, I've gone for it myself. There are certain places on the feet that they can press on the bottom that trigger the heart, the digestion, neck pain, other things, right? There's a lot. The feet are not just for the support, but they're also trigger points, as we've talked about earlier, that are vital to helping other ailments we may have and keeping other elements of our body healthy. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true. Yes. Once you get the blood flow going, circulation, exercise have lots and lots of benefits. So it gets all the massage points, it gets all the trigger points, it gets all the acupressure points, it gets lots of points, connects everything. And good circulation is actually the key to life. So you got to do a little exercise to keep circulation going.
And this could be great for somebody who maybe has circulatory problems. Sometimes that's genetic and it gets passed down. So if you already have some issues, this can help with those issues as well. Dr. Murad, I know this is your calling, this is a mission, this is lifelong learning that you're passing on to others for you. You've many years in this industry, many years in the alternative health field and traditional medicine as well. You're very passionate about this. You really, truly, and I know you from the radio interviews we've done and having met you, this is something that you're very passionate about, and we applaud you for that. What is your hope and overall goal, from the DVDs to the books to the website to all of these? Are all extra things that go along with it. But your bottom line overall goal, doctor, is what?
I want to empower people. I want to educate them. I want to give them a wellness tool that they can use themselves and they can understand it. Because my mother always says, first you have to understand, and when you understand, you will do it. Like if you just say, oh, just go do 10 push-ups or just go run around the block or the park, you won't do it because you don't understand the benefits.
Method to it,
so
right?
I have, this is science-based, you know, it's all based on science and proven principles of science, well established with research. For every ailment there is. I don't talk about the health conditions, you know. I want to put a wellness, I want to bring in natural exercise, some positive element into your life, introduce one daily natural exercise, and that's your feet. So if you empower somebody and tell them how to develop your foot stronger, foot health, foot wellness, all around about your feet, and how to prevent foot injuries, what to do, a little bit general stuff. For me, people say for you it's general because you do it, but it's the whole program. So I want you to learn this foot wellness program and employ it, because you will see the direct benefits of it. You know, it's very simple, and it's easy, and I have made it even more easier because I don't mention any science word, I don't mention any exercise words. It's very simple. I talk to grandmothers and they can understand it. I have made it very simple, few words, big pictures, a few diagrams, you understand it.
Yeah.
And I show them how to do it, and they do it. Believe me, their eyes open, yeah, really,
Yeah.
I can do it.
I
And
can
they
actually
can
do it.
feel the difference
Right.
the first time,
Which
the
is key.
foot. Yeah, takes the whole body weight. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress on the feet, and this exercise foot wellness program, it not only strengthens the foot, but it relieves the tension, the pressure, all these negative adjectives that we associate with the foot. And the first thing that happens is you can feel it, you feel lighter, you feel more relaxed, and you touch anybody's foot, you do something with the foot, they fall asleep, So it improves your sleep patterns. And I tell people that want to try it, I say, try it at bedtime. And normal people, normal adults have told me, young adults that are working still, around 65, they have told me that, the evening we do this toe exercise at night, we actually sleep better. And these people have good health, they're slim, they're wearing tennis shoes, sneakers, they're walking around, they have jobs, they drive, and they have they look in good health, good physical condition. And I said, really, you? So it's simple, it's empowering, it teaches you how to do something without burdening your family. Because whereas, it is all family caregivers and we love our family, but we don't want to burden them because our lifestyle now is so time consuming.
It's so busy
that, we're squeezing time out from here and there, and work hours have, and traffic, then we come home and social media is taken up, and Facebook and emails. Yeah.
All of that, right? There's so many distractions these days. And again, you're seated a lot in these positions where your body is sort of crunched and your feet are clenched and everything's bent and stiff. And again, it's an overall program to really help people from the ground floor, bottoms up. We're talking about right here, this structure, the foot, the ankles, the toes, the feet. It's essential because this is the beginnings of our support system right here. And if we can take care of this and work our way up, I mean, it's important to take care of every part of our body. However, if we start here, it has so many incredible beneficial health-related positive effects, as you're describing so eloquently for our audience right now. It's all about the feet right here. So Toesercise is the program that's part of Movement is Blessed, which is a wealth of fantastic health and wellness expertise that you've developed, which is amazing. Well, this is terrific, Dr. Murad. This is a real honor and pleasure. Thank you so very much for joining us here on the show. I think you've left our audience, you've certainly left me, with a lot of useful information. As I mentioned, the DVDs, the book, all of that is available on the website. But really, it is your expertise and the time that you've put into these programs to help us with this right here, the feet, starting from the ground up. Thank you very much for joining us. It was a real honor and pleasure, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Now, if you'd like to learn more about Dr. Murad's Movement is Blessed program, just go to her website, movementisblessed.com, and take care of those feet. For all of us at CU TV News, I'm Jim Masters. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.